you heard the gospel reading, Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. You heard the words. But did you hear what he was saying? Jesus isn't talking to his disciples, offering them the comforting reassurance these words have become for us throughout the ages. Jesus isn't talking to the crowds of curious, fascinated folks who don't know what to make of him, but don't want to miss a minute of the show either. This is not an invitation to them to have faith in him, though his whole life is such an invitation. Jesus is talking to the religious leaders of his day, to the Pharisees and others who have assigned themselves the role of shepherds of the people of God. And his words are a direct and intentional challenge and confrontation to their self-assumed authority over everybody else. I am the good shepherd, Jesus says. And by implication, what he's telling them is, you're not. I am the good shepherd, he says, as opposed to the kind of shepherds you have shown yourselves to be. I am the good shepherd, as opposed to what? Well, thieves and robbers, apparently, and wolves. If the shoe fits, fellas, wear it. So says Jesus. Jesus did not come into this world to be nice. He did not get up and give up his throne in heaven to get along with everybody down here on earth. Jesus came to turn our world upside down and to take it back, to take it over by giving back to God what really belongs to God, the human race and the authority to say how people will live their lives in this world God created lovingly for them, for us. I am the good shepherd. Do you hear what he's saying? All through the Bible, all through the history of Israel, there were shepherds. God's people started out as shepherds. My father was a wandering Aramean, was the way the Hebrews' historic confession of faith began, referring to the patriarch Abraham, who wandered into the Holy Land as the head shepherd of a huge flock of sheep and goats and the people who helped him tend them. Moses was the shepherd God appointed to lead his people out of Egypt, just as Joshua was the shepherd who led them into the land of milk and honey. David was the shepherd king, despite the business with Bathsheba. And all those after him in the palace and among the priests fashioned themselves shepherds as well. Except that prophet after prophet wouldn't let them get away with it, because time after time their performance failed to match the measure God set for them when he set them upon the throne or before the altar to shepherd his people. Isaiah said, "The sovereign Lord tends his flock like a shepherd." Ezekiel wrote, "I myself will tend my sheep, declares the sovereign Lord. I will shepherd the flock." Okay? The cat's out of the bag. According to the prophets, God is the good shepherd. Like they say, other guys may imitate us, but the original is still the greatest. I am the good shepherd, Jesus tells the Pharisees, who are none too happy with him to start with. And you know this claim, in direct challenge to theirs, this claim of divine authority and apparently of divinity as well, is not winning him any converts among the we're the ones who should get to tell everybody what to do for us. So what kind of shepherd is Jesus claiming to be besides good? He's claiming to be the kind of shepherd that lays down his life for his sheep, which would be a pretty audacious claim if we didn't know already that he makes good on it. And the point isn't that he dies. Everybody does that sooner or later. And anybody can get himself killed given the right or wrong circumstances. The point and power of the claim is that Jesus will lay down his life, give his life voluntarily when he could do otherwise for his sheep. The Pharisees are the kind of folks who are willing to sacrifice too, to sacrifice sheep. Anybody in the flock, if they decide the individual deserves to be sacrificed, or if they think it necessary to avoid danger to themselves or the rest of the flock. After all, to them, the shepherd is far more important than his sheep, and a lot of sheep are more important than any particular one. Sheep are just sheep, and a shepherd's got to do what a shepherd's got to do. Except that Jesus has a whole different take on the traits of a shepherd, a good shepherd. Jesus understands what makes a good shepherd, the good shepherd, and knows that is what God has sent him to be. And so Jesus lays down his life for his sheep. He lays down his life so the sheep don't have to lay theirs down as they would have to if he were not there to die in their place. The shepherd has the choice in this case. The sheep do not. The good shepherd puts the well-being of the sheep before his own. He puts their lives before his own life. It is an approach to shepherding that will turn the world upside down, which is the point. Without the shepherd, the sheep die. With the shepherd, the sheep live. It's that simple and that stark. I have come that they may have life. I have come that the sheep may have all the life they can possibly have. But notice that not all the sheep are his. Not all the sheep belong to the good shepherd. There are sheep that do not listen to his voice. They do not recognize Jesus as their Savior and their shepherd. At least that's what Jesus is telling the Pharisees. Makes you wonder who he's talking about. But let's leave these other sheep where they are for a minute and look at the sheep Jesus claims as his own. The good shepherd who will lay down his life for his sheep so that they will live and not die knows them by name. And he calls them by name. And dumb as they are, they at least listen to their shepherd's voice. And they recognize that voice as the voice of their shepherd. And they follow him. Because they understand everything he says to them. Don't be silly. They're sheep after all. They don't understand much at all, except that that is the voice of their shepherd. And they recognize it as such. They trust him and they follow him. They follow their shepherd to pasture and to safety. He provides for them and he protects them. And even that they may not understand. They may not even know that's what the shepherd is doing. But he's doing it just the same all the time. And he is able to do it because they follow him. He can and does protect and provide for any sheep that will hear his voice and follow him. And the others who put themselves forward as shepherds, they neither provide nor protect. They can't. They are not shepherds. But how many people want you to think they are? The Pharisees aren't the only supposed shepherds the good shepherd has to contend with. Look around at all the would-be shepherds maneuvering around the sheep today. Everybody wants to lead sheep. False shepherds sneak into the places where sheep await the real shepherd and say whatever they can think of to coax the unsuspecting to listen to their voices instead of his and to follow them to nowhere good. And here's the funny thing. The pretend shepherds are really just sheep themselves. Jesus calls them too, just like he calls his own sheep, but they will not hear him. They will not recognize his voice or listen. Or if they do recognize his voice, they still don't listen, and the result is the same. They are like the blind leading the blind, Jesus said. They end up in a ditch. And when they do, the good shepherd goes and looks for them. Even if it means leaving 99 in safety, even if it means laying down his life to keep them from losing theirs. The good shepherd goes wherever the lost sheep goes. The good shepherd calls the name of the lost sheep, whoever it is. The good shepherd saves the life of the lost sheep, no matter how much danger the sheep got itself into. That's the good shepherd. That's Jesus. But in the end, only the sheep that hear his voice and follow him are his sheep. Jesus would be the good shepherd for any sheep. That's what he's here for. That's why he's turning the world upside down still, looking for lost sheep to add to the flock that he protects and provides for. That's why he even bothers to tell this to Pharisees and other would-be counterfeit shepherds. The good shepherd speaks to every sheep, no matter how rebellious, in hopes that his voice will be heard and recognized and trusted and followed. I am the good shepherd, Jesus tells the sheep who will not hear him. But for those who will, as the words of Isaiah say, he tends his flock like a shepherd. He gathers the lambs in his arm and carries them close to his heart. In Jesus, the good shepherd, the sovereign Lord comes with power and gently leads. Is the Lord your